Good morning, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. The show is Fred Arnold on the Valley Industry Association Business Spotlight. I'm joined by Frank Meese. Did I get that right? Meese?
You got it right. Thank you.
You are a manager with H&R Block here in Santa Clarita Valley?
Correct. Yeah.
And Cindy Funicello.
Yes.
Cindy is also a manager. You manage multiple H&R Blocks out here in the Santa
And
Clarita
also doing
Valley.
marketing.
Marketing for them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having
Nice to
us.
be here.
So understand that you have several new locations here in the Santa Clarita Valley, Cindy?
Yes, we have a brand new location that we're going to be opening in January, right down the street from the station here on Lyons. And we're thrilled to have a bigger location, and it's going to be opening in January, and we're very excited about it. It's at 23226 Lyons.
Very good. So close. Now, because of what's going on with the Affordable Care Act, it's really, people have really had to come in and get their tax returns done when maybe they did it themselves for many, many years. How are the two related? What's going on with the Affordable Care Act?
Well, again, the Affordable Care Act has probably been the biggest change in the tax code in the last 40 years. And again, our clients come in, they have questions about it. How does it affect me? What do I have to do with it? And so the last couple of years have been where people are getting familiar with the Affordable Care Act. Now they have to show proof that they have health care when they do their tax returns. So when you come into our office, and one of the questions we're going to ask you, amongst all the other things about your earnings and deductions and family, is do you have health coverage? And so we'll probably ask you 2 or 3 questions just so you get familiar with it, what you're looking for. So I've got a couple of those if you want to.
Yeah, give me,
Okay.
absolutely. Give an example of a question you should be asking, right?
Okay. Right. So the first question we would ask, Mr. and Mrs. Taxpayer, when they come in is, did everyone in your household have insurance? Okay.
Even it doesn't matter what age.
Doesn't matter.
If you're their guardian, you need to make sure they have insurance.
The kids have to have insurance.
If they're a dependent on your tax return.
Right. If they're dependent, right. As Cindy said, if they're dependent on your tax return, you need to have insurance so that you meet the provisions of the Affordable Care Act. And so most people will have insurance either through an employer, if they are self-insured, or if they go into the marketplace. And so one of the questions we'll ask you, did you get your health insurance through the marketplace? And that's covered California for most people in the state of California. You can go to their website and look it up and get it. You've probably heard of all the plans, the platinum, the silver, the bronze, the gold. That's what covered California will give for you based, again, on a number of factors: your income, how many people you need to cover, what you can afford, what types of policies. If you do get something from the covered California or from any government marketplace, you'll get what's called a Form 1095A, and we need to put that onto your tax return so it shows that you are covered. So for everybody out there who is thinking about, what do I have to do to make my tax return complete, think healthcare coverage, provide proof that you have it.
Yeah, and that's one thing you help them do, because that's where the unknown is.
That is still, it's not so much of an unknown at this time, but people aren't sure as to how to handle it. But we'll get them through it. And again, if you have coverage, again, through your employer, or if you're self-insured, the third option is the marketplace. We'll walk you through it. We'll make sure that you're covered so that you get your taxes filed.
Well, when it comes to, when we cover that, really important, but the other hot topic nowadays is identity theft. And protecting your identity, especially when it comes to your tax return.
Right.
Suggestions you have on that?
Well, when it comes to identity theft, most people are familiar with the identity theft that happens to them when they get their credit card compromised, or something along the lines of their financial issues that will cause them problems. This is tax identity theft, where somebody has gotten a hold of your Social Security number, maybe your spouse's Social Security number, or a dependent Social Security number, and it prevents the proper filing of your tax return with the IRS.
And that can be scary, because now one of the biggest fears people have is getting in trouble with the IRS, because that unknown of them. Here it is, where someone's taking your identity and filing something that might be inappropriate.
Right.
And so, it usually is.
So the IRS has, they're warning people about, protect your identity, especially your Social Security. If it gets out there and somebody files before you do, they filed a fraudulent claim, most likely to get a tax refund that was, again, not legitimate to that person, it causes a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety on the person who's trying to legitimately file. And so we have to go through a different system, so to speak. We can no longer e-file, electronically file their tax return. We have to do what's called a mail-in, a paper file. And that goes to the IRS. It takes sometimes 6 to 9 months to resolve. If you're due a refund, you won't see that money until they make sure that you are the person.
Well, they might have already given the refund to somebody else on
Oh, they have.
a fake tax return.
Yeah.
They already did. Yeah.
Yeah, they have.
And they're going, why is this person filing this when, yeah, that's crazy.
So, again, we've heard, tax identity theft has been big in the news over the past few years. We just want to let, again, clients know there are lots of ways to protect themselves. Always make sure you keep your Social Security number, hidden. Whenever you have to give it out, make sure you protect it.
And never
Also-
on the phone. Never, anyone calling asking for that, never give it out.
Right.
So let me ask you, Cindy, right now, what's going on? What impacts your taxes most this year?
Well, it's so funny because in the office, what we're finding out is people don't realize how they're earning their income. You're either an employee or an independent contractor, and they don't realize what the difference is. So we see a lot of people, usually young people, coming in and with their 1099, which signifies they're an independent contractor, and they didn't know that they had to pay the taxes. So at the end of the tax interview, it's a huge shock, and they're left with a large tax bill and no refund. And so what we'd like to do at H&R Block, we like to set you up for success and make sure that you're aware of things. We do some community outreach tax education workshops, and they're available throughout the year. And what we do is like to educate, especially young people, how to pre-plan to set yourself up for success.
Yeah, and I think pre-planning is something that so many people don't understand. A 10-minute conversation, a 15-minute conversation, a 5-minute conversation can prevent a lot of challenges when it goes to filing your tax returns.
Correct. Again, this time of the year, I know everybody's getting really excited about the holidays, but it's a time of the year to get organized, especially if you itemize on a tax return. If you use that Schedule A because you want to claim your home mortgage interest and your taxes, start getting organized now.
Something we love to do in the mortgage industry. Yeah, absolutely. Advance. You want to get an advance in your tax. You know you're getting a big refund, but you need some money now.
There are a lot of people around the holidays who would like to just get access to their refund right away. So we have a special program that's starting on November 23rd and in our offices that will give you an advance on your tax refund to up to $1,000. And so if you need that holiday money now, we can help you with that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Anything else you want to add, Frank, before we cut?
Yes, just one item that people may get occasionally that may cause them a little anxiety. If you've ever gotten a notice from the IRS or from the California Franchise Tax Board, tax authority notice, it's a letter. People will get those throughout the year. Just want to let you know that we have offices. We do have a year-round office in Valencia. If you should get a letter, if you have any questions about that, whether you're a client or not, if you just want to know what to do with it, first thing is just open it up. Okay.
Read it.
Because most people take that letter and they start getting, trembling.
Sweaty.
Anxiety.
High anxiety.
Well, I think that's right up there with lights behind you when you're driving in a car, right?
Right.
Yeah. Sirens behind you.
And usually when you get a letter from either the IRS or California, they want some information because maybe your tax return wasn't complete. Typically what we find is that there was missing income. Maybe there's something that you earned that you
Forgot.
didn't have on
You just
your
have to
return.
file an amended return.
Right. Or we see a lot of this where you had cancellation of debt. And all of a sudden, the company that canceled your debt, they notified the IRS but never sent you any paperwork on it. And now there may be some additional taxes that are due on that. So again, just when you get a letter, open it up, read it. If you have questions, again, you can come into one of our offices. We'll be more than happy to explain it to you and what your options are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. Those who want to get online or find out, I think you just Google H&R Block, and all the
You can
local ones will
Google.
come up, right?
We have 7 offices in Santa Clarita Valley.
So just Google it, you'll find it. Ladies and gentlemen, Cindy Funicello.
Yes.
Yes, marketing manager and manager of many stores out here in the Santa Clarita Valley, and Frank Meese, office manager for H&R Block. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Santa Clarita Valley Industry Association Business Spotlight. This is your host, Fred Arnold, on AM 1220 KHTS.